I have two considerations. The first one is a consideration that I would call the complicated relationship between law and technology. The first of all, that in the face of a pandemic, which has scattered millions of deaths around the world, it should have been quite simple for legal practitioners to consider health as the most important asset to be safeguarded, even accepting a temporary compression of all other rights. It's what happened with traditional and fundamental rights, freedom of movement, freedom of assembly, and so on. There were no debate about it, even if these rights were evilly compressed by governments all around Europe and all around the world. But when a technological element, an app for digital contact tracing, was inserted, a heated debate was generated. Why this happened? These rights are rights we are more familiar with. They are rights that have a long tradition and a long perceptions in the lives of all of us. It's something that is perceived before we know it from a legal point of view. Freedom of movement, freedom of assembly, freedom of entry by default from the beginning of our life. Another reason that what I call the new liberties. I mean, exactly as happened in the early 19th centuries in England, when the sabotage of industrial production because machinery were in fact considered a threat by wage workers. So today, almost every innovation is seen as a threat to our fundamental freedoms. And the dystopian imagination of successful TV series as Black Mirror has crept into the minds of what I call the techno-elite, who continually see the signs of that future made of technological oppression in our Western democracy. And so what happened? Happened that the world debate on contact traces, as we see today, has been spoiled by the prejudice which has led to the disastrous result that we have before our eyes. We have not asked ourselves, is it necessary or not to use digital contact tracing during a pandemic? And if it needed to, what rules do we need to implement to make it work better? Now, we started backwards. What rules can we implement to make them non-invasive in terms of personal data? And this, even if, as it happened later, the rules that we built totally weaken this application until they are substantially useless. So what are the results of this way of thinking? The result is we have tracing apps that simply don't track, that track little and badly. We have tracing apps that do not help the National Health Service to reconstruct a map on possible outbreaks. We have tracing apps which require voluntary and so huge participation that no Western country has so far managed to assure the efficiency goal. Have we made privacy smart?